Oh, yeah. They just keep stacking. So good to be with you this morning. Thanks for locking us in, loading us up. As I always say, it is The Drive. We're coming at you out of the Findlay Hyundai studio, and I could not sleep last night. Tara, were you watching?
Yes. Well, once I got home from lacrosse, I did. I tuned in and watched.
Yeah.
Especially after the text messages started coming in.
Yeah.
Got your attention.
Yes.
Got your attention.
It's like the ESPN app sending updates, but the
Right?
Region 9 chat was forming as her notifications to get her tuned in.
If you're wondering what we were talking about, if you tuned in this morning, but you were not tuned in last night, we had a baseball game. We were over at Snow Canyon. It was Snow Canyon hosting Dixie. Anytime these two teams get together, there seems to be no love lost. They don't like each other. They're rivals, and there's always fireworks. There's extracurriculars, and you never know what's going to happen. And I've said for years, expect the unexpected in Region 9. And when these two team meets, it seems to always find a way to get to a fever pitch.
Yeah.
And so last night, what was the text that got your attention, Tara? Was it the home run?
I will tell
Was
you.
it the balk?
See here.
It
What was the one?
Was it the
first
ejections?
one was the ejection.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ejections got your attention.
Yeah.
We go to last night, and Paulie and Tara are not wrong. This game was NUTS nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts for the officials. It was nuts for the fans. It was nuts for the broadcasters. It had to be nutso for the players. You couldn't have written this script.
Yeah. It was kind of a story that wrote its own as far as a game. I mean, it started just a regular old night at Snow Canyon, and it ended up being something to remember. Absolutely a game to remember for this season. Just a grudge match. Neither team wanting to lose. No one wanting to say die. And the game went to extras. And, we had a battle throughout the entire game, and two members of the Snow Canyon coaching staff were thrown out.
Three.
I'm sorry, three.
Three.
Yeah, there was one in that in the bottom of the seventh.
They didn't know
after the ball call. There was something said in the dugout,
and they didn't know who it came from. So they said somebody's out of here. And one of the coaches, one of the nicest guys I know, I think took one for the team and said, "I guess I'll leave the dugout."
Yeah, grabbed his backpack and rolled out.
Didn't know who to throw out. So
right.
Coach is like, "I guess I'll go."
Yeah,
one of the assistant coaches, I won't say who.
Umpire came over and he was like, "Someone's got to go here." And he's just pointing his finger, and coach grabbed his backpack and was like, "I'm out. I'll take one for the team."
Let me say this. I went back and watched a couple of key plays, and we'll play a couple clips for you here on the show. But this game, I want to go back to last year for just a second to kind of set the table a little bit, because last year, if you remember, in the very first region game that Chunter Nyberg ever coached as a first-year head coach, one of his assistant coaches said something. They got banned to the dugout. And any later, I think Coach Nyberg forgot about that, comes out on the field, and then he got tossed. Now, not a arguing Lou Piniella, not a Tommy Lasorda meltdown, not
Bobby
a
Cox.
Throwing the trash can out on the field.
I was sweet Lou Piniella back in the Mariners days.
And Leland or whatever.
Jimmy Leland, yeah.
Rip his cigarette and then go cuss somebody out,
You know, I asked Brandon Lyon one time who his favorite manager was to play for, and he played for 8 different managers. He said Jimmy Leland. And he only played for Detroit, I think, for one season when Jimmy was the skipper.
There is iconic video. I know we're getting a little away from the Region 9 game, but Leland, as far as, have you seen the Barry Bonds Leland audios where Leland is just laying in?
I don't know if I've ever seen that. I probably should have.
I don't even know if it's radio safe.
Yeah,
probably not. To be,
I don't think so.
Good point.
But Jimmy was a player's coach. At the end of the day, he fought for his guys.
He did, and he liked his Marlboro Reds in the dugout as well.
And so last year we had an ejection, and you scroll forward to last night again.
Yeah.
And we had Reed Seacrest had a Lou Piniella, Bobby Cox, Jimmy Leland fill in the Tommy Lasorda moment. Whatever you think of the manager you saw lose his mind and get tossed in the big leagues.
The MLB in ejections. I'll look that up. I think it's Bobby Cox.
The funniest thing about it, well, I'll get to that. Remind me about the funniest thing for me.
Okay.
But let me set the table. Carson Hunt hits a 3-run bomb.
Yeah.
Carson Hunt goes Yahtzee, beautiful swing smooth from the left side, 3-run shot, no doubter. And right in the top of the first inning, Dixie meant business, and it was 3-0.
Yeah.
And both Johnny McGuire and Zach Beck, the starting pitchers, gave up 3 and then the other 2 runs in the first inning. Both the bats were alive at Snow Canyon last night. What was there, 26, 27 total hits in that game last night? That's a lot of hits in a high school baseball game.
Yeah, it was.
So it's 3-2 for a long time after the first. We scroll forward to the third. Cade Kelch goes yard on a 3-run bomb. Let's play that clip.
I don't have that one.
Oh, you don't have that clip?
No.
We've got the walk-off that was not a walk-off, but we do not have the Kelch home run.
Where did my phone go?
Okay.
Where did
Trying to
I'll
improvise.
see,
Well, yeah, play. I was going to play it off the Insta.
okay.
But the
me see if I can-
the clip shows Cade Kelch going yard.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm watching the ball last night. Paul, you were watching Cade as he started to go down the first base line in front of the team dugout.
Yeah.
I was watching the ball because I wanted to make sure, one, it was gone. One of my worst fears as in a broadcasting booth is calling a home run that's robbed prematurely. So I'm watching the ball. I'm out of my peripheral. I'm watching the outfielders, and I'm seeing if they lay off of it. And this one was a no-doubter. It was a 3-run blast over the scoreboard. I don't know if it touched the middle school, but it looked like it cleared the trees behind the scoreboard. I'm guessing 390, 400. Like, it was out there. Here is the audio from that home run. I think Tara's got it, and we'll get that ready for you. But then all blank breaks loose as Cade Kelch is coming out of the batter's box, and you can't hear this from the radio call or from the live stream. We've got kind of a Paulie, you described what is known as a bat flip. How would you describe Cade Kelch's bat flip as he hits the 3-run shot last night?
I think I said at the time when the home run was hit, I was watching him the whole time, and it was, I think I said emphatic was the way I used it on the broadcast, but it was definitely not a Jose Bautista bat flip on the Jays where he literally sent it to the first row or whatever years ago, but it was a pretty profound bat flip. It was definitely a bat flip that and
how many feet in the air?
It's an unsportsmanlike is a judgment call by the officials, so they judge whether they deem it's unsportsmanlike.
How high did the bat go?
Pretty high.
15 feet?
Pretty high, I'll say. I don't have an exact gauge on the
Like, I caught it out of my peripheral. I know he bat flipped.
And Coach Sechrist argued that you can do it to your own dugout. Like the rule itself talks about the UHSAA rule talks about taunting, being the key unsportsmanlike quality. So I don't know that there was any taunting to the other dugout. It was really just a celebration with his own dugout. But nonetheless, it was, I think that it was a borderline. You could perceive it either way. And the umpire on the call last night thought it was, a little too much.
Here's how it sounded. This is the 3-run shot, and this is what just kind of caused melee the rest of the night.
That one is hit good, and it is hit deep, and this one is going to go over the scoreboard, fly away baseball, almost to the middle school, Paulie.
That's right, an emphatic bat flip from Cade Kelch, and rightly so. That ball was absolutely blistered.
And you see right at the end, he waited till he touched home, and then he ejected him. And it's not for something to say. I don't think Cade Kelch said anything to the umpire. We don't know that for a fact, but it didn't look like that from the video. It looked like it was from the bat flip.
Yeah.
And it is a judgment call. You're not wrong. I looked the rule up last night. We talked about it during the broadcast. It's at the discretion of the umpire. Well, Coach Sechrist took exception to that. He did take a few steps down the line, so it wasn't near the catcher. It wasn't looking at the pitcher. He was looking at the dugout, and he was celebrating a home run.
Yeah.
Okay, and if there ever was a bat flip that maybe you let go, you could argue this was the one.
That. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's not my decision to make. I just show up and broadcast the games, and the umpire thought it was excessive, unsportsmanlike, and that's his judgment call, like you said. So Coach Sechrist then comes out and goes Lou Piniella. Sorry, because that's who I grew up watching, Sweet Lou Piniella.
I looked it up. Bobby Cox is number one with 162 ejections all time.
He went Bobby Cox.
Yeah,
I'll say it for
Cox, yeah.
Who's second on that list, by the way?
John McGraw, Earl Weaver, Tony La Russa, Bruce
Tony.
Bochy. There's some notables.
Fiery Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel's son's dad.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Daniel
right. Peter Crane. Yeah.
Karate Kid. Here we go.
So look, I'm not here to say the umpire got it right or wrong.
Yes.
I didn't. I'm not a baseball expert. I don't know what you're looking for in that situation. That would be unfair of me to Coach Sechrist and to the umpire to say if that was the right. He tossed him. He thought it was excessive.
Yeah.
And Coach Sechrist did what I think about, 99% of managers would do. He went to back his guy and said, look, he was looking at our dugout. He threw the bat towards our dugout. That's not breaking the rules. And then he proceeds. The funniest part, let me get to this, was when Coach Sechrist had given him a chewing for probably a good 90 seconds to 120 seconds.
He tossed the
umpire. He starts to walk away, then he comes back, and then he tosses the umpire.
Yes. I remember that. He did it a few times.
I will never forget that as long as I live. A manager saying, "You're out of here.
You're out of here." Yeah, I love that.
He got his money's worth.
That's right.
Obviously. We were broadcasting in the team clubhouse. I don't think I've ever heard the clubhouse door slam as hard as it had as Coach Sechrist came up to get his stuff to leave the premise. And look, I mean, it's an emotional sport. It's an emotional moment. You want to celebrate a great swing of the bat.
Yeah.
And then it gets an ejection. And this is not just any player that gets ejected. I mean, this is a kid that's already hit 4 home runs. He hits his 5th last night. And he's hitting 550.
Yeah.
And the power numbers are off. The slash line is off the charts for Cade Kelch. I mean,
and the backup is a freshman that's got 2 appearances in his varsity career.
Correct.
So,
and it had never got a hit before.
And coincidentally was the last at-bat of the game. So that would have been Cade Kelch again. He would have gotten another at-bat in a big spot. So it affects the game. It affects the game. I mean, it definitely had a ripple effect of the outcome for sure.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I hated it when the NFL was flagging celebrations in the end zone.
Yeah.
I don't like. I mean, sports are supposed to be fun.
They are.
I want it to be fun. At the end of the day, though, I'm big on sportsmanship, and this one is a gray area for me. And again, I'm not trying to take a side here because obviously the umpire thought he was within his jurisdiction to toss Cade.
I mean, he thought it was.
Would I have tossed him in that situation and seen the aftermath? Probably not if I was there. I don't know that I would have tossed him.
I think it's a far cry from the Sam Cassell thing that we heard led to an ejection. But that is showing up another team. That is making a gesture or a move saying, are the too small thing, or there's a lot of them in basketball that are like clear, like, okay, that's showing somebody up.
Should Cade Kelch not have flipped the bat 10, 15 feet in the air? Yeah, probably next time maybe he won't.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the message that maybe the umpires are instructed by the UHSAA that jurisdicts high school sports to say, hey, let's clean up the bat flips. Let's make sportsmanship a priority there. I don't know. And if that's the case,
what is a bat flip? It is kind of showing up the other team, even at the MLB level. At the MLB level, there's always a glance at the dugout and a toss, but he didn't look at the other dugout. He didn't look at the Dixie dugout.
No, he was celebrating with his guys.
He turned immediately to his own dugout and was just having a good time with them in that moment. So, and you heard my kind of insertion on that clip. I said immediately, it's an emphatic bat flip.
Yeah, it's an exciting play.
But it was an emphatic play. It was a home run.
It wasn't your average play, but it wasn't your average bat flip.
Again, like I said from the start, I'm not saying
goes both ways.
I'm not taking a side here.
Yeah,
it's not my job. It's my job to form an opinion. And in my opinion, let them enjoy the moment is my opinion.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know the directive from the UHSAA. I don't know. And I mean, that game was just nuts.
Yeah, it was.
It was just absolute. You couldn't have wrote that script if you were a Hollywood writer trying to remake a Bull Durham. Like you couldn't. You couldn't. I mean, that game had its own script, the way that it ebbed and flowed, because then it got crazier. So not only does Cade get tossed, but Coach Sechrist gets tossed, and then so Canyon, takes the lead, and then Dixie just keeps fighting back. I mean, it's 5-3. And Dixie just keeps coming and coming and coming. And all of a sudden, you're like, this game feels over. And it's 11-5 going to the bottom of the 7th inning. And Johnny McGuire runs out of pitches. I think he ended the night at, like, what was it, Paulie, 107 or something like that? I mean, just below that 110 threshold. So he's gone. They go to the bullpen. They get 2 quick runs. Before they even get an out. They get a 3rd run before they even get an out. They finally get an out, and all of a sudden you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, it's 11-8. You're like, they've cut this lead in half with just 1 out.
Yeah.
And then not Talon Hansen, who's at the plate? Diesel Lee?
For the
Warriors. For the walk.
Yeah, that was Diesel Lee.
It was Diesel Lee. So Diesel Lee is at the plate, and the bases are now loaded.
Yeah.
Okay. The winning run is at first base. Here is how it sounded last night over at Snow Canyon, and things got crazier after this.
Hang on just a second.
We're working on that audio for you here. This was, it's 11-9. I said 11-8. It's 11-9. It's a 1-2 count.
It's hard. Now he's ready. He's swinging a shot, and it's high. And it's towards the right center field alleyway, and it is a walk-off grand slam! That is the game!
Is that Dusty in the background?
That's Coach Sechrist.
Oh, that's Sechrist.
Yeah.
He called balk? Did he call a balk? Did he just call a balk?
What's the call?
He just called something, and the run from – I don't know if he called a balk before the home run. That's a walk-off grand slam, and they've called a balk, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. We're in the press box, but he's putting them back on the base. So it is not. It is 11-10.
Oh my gosh!
It is 11-10, and runners on second and third, and this game is not over. I thought it was over, Paulie.
Yeah, by the
It
call.
should have been over. Yeah.
So it was a balk.
Yeah,
I didn't see the signal initially. Again, I was
neither.
watching the ball, and that one was close. I mean, that one slipped over the fence by maybe 5-10 feet.
Yeah, I cleared
So
it.
I'm looking out there. So I don't know. I didn't see exactly when the officials threw his hands up and called the balk. Now in college, I believe there's a rule on a balk where you can still play the pitch.
Yeah.
But I guess in high school it must be a dead ball. But then somebody sent me the rule last night in high school, and so now I'm even more confused on that call. So we had a couple big moments last night.
Yeah, it was a fireworks throughout the evening.
So instead of a walk-off home run, grand slam
Grand
style,
slam, yeah.
it's a balk. Snow Canyon does get within 1 run there.
Yeah.
And they do end up tying the game moments later, but then is Carson Hunt, who came in, who's probably going to start tonight's game, but they had to use him. Chandler Nyberg's like, we got to win this game.
Yeah.
And it was probably a good decision.
Yeah, bird in the hand better than 2 in the bush.
Yep.
So he took the win when he could get it. And I think that was the right decision. A lot of the Snow Canyon, like people I talked to after the game were like, they just used their ace. What are they going to do today?
Go back. Terry, can you go back? I don't know if you can scrub back. I wanted to see the start and I want to see the mitt position and when he became set, because 9 times out of 10, that balk is that movement of the mitt when, early before the pitch is coming. And he definitively called balk. I didn't see when it came until after, I saw the grand slam and everybody circling the bases. And then I realized it. And obviously a big call.
Yeah.
And Snow Canyon, instead of walk-off grand slam win, we had to go to extras. Dixie goes on to win at 13-11 in extra innings.
Yeah.
And are we close?
And now,
I think
Dixie
so.
can
I wanted to
still
see
win
that the
game
very
with one
start
pitch.
of when he comes set.
So Diesel Lee is back at the plate.
No, I didn't get back.
count.
Hang on.
What is
Okay.
the count?
It's okay. I mean, it's not going to change the outcome of
No.
last night. I mean, if people really want to look at it
Yeah.
close, I'll go.
Can't go back. Yeah.
Yeah, I rewatched a lot of the game last night, trying to get some clarity on what I just saw.
Yeah. That was like the ultimate Rob job right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't even the outfielder.
And so this rematch tonight, woo,
Yeah.
over at Dixie High School. If you're not
Yeah.
doing anything on a Thursday night,
I wish we were covering it. Yeah.
I know we already did 2 games this
We
week,
did,
and,
yeah.
and I was telling my wife last night, like she's like, "Are you working Thursday night?" I'm like, "We didn't have a game scheduled tonight because of we
Maybe
already."
we should.
But I can make that happen.
Maybe we need to add a game to the broadcast schedule
Look at
tonight
that.
Yeah.
and do the rematch.
Don't tease the listeners out there.
The interesting thing is, and I said this in the broadcast too, I'm not exactly sure on the 7-inning ejection rule. So Cade Kelch has to sit out a full 7 innings. Well, the
but
game
he went extra.
The game went extra, so he
Yeah.
got tossed in the bottom of the 3rd. So the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th. That's 5 innings. So by my math, he would have to sit out the 1st and the 2nd, and he should be allowed to come back in
Yeah.
the 3rd.
Makes
But I'm not
sense.
sure if the extra inning counts or
Plays in.
not
Okay.
as a full game because it was extra innings. So there's something I'm not sure about to check on that. I'm sure
Yeah.
Coach Seacrest is checking on that today because he would love to have Cade Kelch as early as possible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. We got breaking news.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
breaking news. So let's come back with some breaking news. To save it, Paulie. I know
right,
this is
I'm
hard for
saving it.
you.
Yes.
I mean, he wants to spit it out right
I just
now.
said, whoa, that's it.
I
you
know.
know?
I'm like,
Breaking news. Tara is looking at Adam Shifty Schefter right now. Breaking
Yes.
news. That's what he does.
What does this mean? We need to get into this.
Yeah,
All right.
we will. We will. I did want to say congratulations to Chunder Nyberg and the Flyers. They had dropped
Yeah.
2 tough losses to Cedar, and Snow Canyon was 2-0. And so Dixie gets their first region win. And fireworks again tonight.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the rematch. The other game last night up in Cedar got canceled. I think weather must have been the field
Oh,
unplayable.
really?
It must have rained more in Cedar. I'm not exactly sure. All we know is it got rescheduled. And so Hurricane did not play at Cedar yesterday. So the only other baseball game last night was Desert Hills and Pineview. And Pineview had a bye in the first week of region play.
Yeah.
Porter Campbell goes 3-run shot. Harmon Skeet had his 10th home run of the season, but Pineview edges Desert Hills 5-2, and so Desert Hills has lost 2 in a row.
yeah.
After only having 1 loss through their first 14 games, they lose 2 straight early in region play. They got Crimson the first time and then split with them, and then lost game 1 to Pineview last night, 5-2. All right, we're off and running. High school sports. Oh, expect the unexpected in Region 9 baseball.
An
It is so
overtime period will
competitive.
not be included in determining the length of
those-
suspension.
oh, shoot.
I was checking the
So he won't be back till the 4th.
Yes. The
Yeah.
following is a definition of contest by a sport: baseball,
7
innings. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And the overtime or extra innings is not included in that sample. So,
Okay. So they won't have Cade Kelch, so we'll see
Yeah.
Rafael
yeah.
for the first 3
Jersey Mike sub of the
innings.
game last night. How about that for him?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, multi-hit games up and down the lineup. It was fireworks, everybody, between Snow Canyon and Dixie. And they'll meet down at Donley Flyer Field again tonight at 7:00. All right, breaking news. When we come back, we've got to get to this. Sometimes the show just goes where it goes, and we had other plans, and we've shifted them. We're talking about a big signing in the NFL when we return. Yeah, you know I love this song. Veteran quarterback on the move in the National Football League. Breaking news here on a Throwdown Thursday morning show today, brought to you by Zag. If you break your phone, they'll fix it. They'll give you $20 off if you mention our show. You can put your screen protector on it and protect it better. The Raiders and their new coach, Clint Kubiak.
Yeah.
And the new brass down there have agreed to a free agent deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, grabbing Kirk Cousins, according to his agent. This is just breaking. We know the 37-year-old was released by the Falcons. He's been on the open market, and it looks like he is joining the Raiders after 2 years in Hotlanta.
Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. Makes me wonder what's going to happen. Like, what does this mean for Mendoza? I have been banking
on Mendoza
for the Raiders.
I don't think it changes anything with Mendoza.
Oh, I think it changes a lot with Mendoza. Not the pick, but how they handle this. Are they
whether he starts or what is his role going to be?
We were talking about this in the break while you were out a little bit, but why, if you have the number one pick and you've got a chance to trot out a thoroughbred, high pedigree quarterback, would you bring in Kirk Cousins? To mentor him? You want him grooming him? Is that the idea here? Like, does Kirk start the first 6 games and they start 2-4, then it's Mendoza's show? Why waste that time? Just let him have the ropes from the reins from the beginning.
You get him pretty cheap. Now
I get that, but
if Mendoza gets hurt, you have a nice backup plan, which they really didn't have this last year. I mean, Geno wasn't great, but your other options weren't any better.
Right.
That's right. I mean, I'm not saying for depth it's not a good move, but for the development of a number one overall pick, like when was the last number one overall pick that sat? Cam Moore didn't sit. Caleb Williams didn't sit. Those are just the first 2 that come off the top of my head. Joe Burrow didn't sit. Like, there is no number one overall pick in the NFL draft.
Not number one, no.
That sits.
No.
So what does this mean? Is he a backup for Mendoza, or is he actually going to be the starter for the first 6, 7, 8 weeks?
I mean, they've evaluated everything, right?
Yeah.
They're evaluating everything.
I disagree with the evaluation. I'll just say that. I don't like this move for the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah.
If you're going to spend money, invest it on like your O-line or secondary or something, like where the Raiders really need the help.
That's the thing. We don't know the financial terms of this deal, but we know that the Raiders are not going to be on the hook for a ton with this because Atlanta gave him a 4-year, $180 million contract, and there's the money that's still going to come from Atlanta to pay Kirk Cousins. So they're actually going to get him fairly cheap. How cheap, I'm not exactly sure right now, but he's 37 years old. He's not the future. Mendoza is the future. Yes, to answer your question, I disagree with you, Paul. I think this is a smart move by the Raiders.
Okay.
I think you get a guy on the cheap that's 37 that you can now ask to groom Fernando Mendoza to be Uncle Kirk Cousins, my favorite Kirk Cousins. Uncle Kirk. And you can and you still, if as long as Mendoza is ready to go win games now, you still start him day one. I don't think that plan changes as long as Mendoza is ready. Now, if Kirk Cousins has a great camp and Mendoza struggles, and you're like, okay, let's give Cousins the first 4 games or 6 games or the bye week, and then we roll out Mendoza. Let's get him acclimated. We don't know how that's going to look yet. We haven't even had the draft, for heaven's sakes.
True.
But the fact that the Raiders are being proactive and adding depth to the most important position in football. Yeah. And I understand what you're saying about O-line, Tara. That's a valid point. The O-line has been terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't they make a couple moves there in free agency, though?
Linderbaum.
I mean,
biggest offensive lineman in the free agent class.
They've addressed that a little bit, too. Yeah. So I actually love this move for the Raiders. Why do you hate it? I don't understand. I
don't love it. You
don't love it if you're Fernando Mendoza, or you don't love it as a Raiders fan?
I don't love it as a Raiders fan.
Why? They've been absolutely atrocious. Do something different.
So why you bring in a guy that's
well, they brought in Geno. I feel like Cousins is like Geno. You're not really getting a better quarterback here. And Geno was terrible last year. So we've been banking on getting this number one draft pick and having a better season, like bulking up the O-line.
Very good point. Very fair, but coaching change.
Last quarterback that was drafted number one overall, not to start, and week 1 as a rookie. Take a guess. It goes way back.
Ryan Leaf. No, he was number 2 in the draft.
Number 1 pick. Just take a shot.
Brett Favre.
No,
he wasn't number 1.
Carson Palmer.
Carson
in 2003.
Palmer.
It's been 23 years since a number 1 overall pick at quarterback has not started this season. Day 1, opening day starter. And the Raiders are doing a different.
The Raiders
bit here.
are always
I don't
different.
understand this. Mark Davis might be doing his own kind of going off the reservation. I don't know if this is Kubiak who's making this call, but Mendoza is the guy.
Why is Kirk Cousins so controversial for everybody? I mean, Atlanta gives him 4 years, $180 million. They pay him $40 million a year, and then they draft Penix, and then they bench the Cousins, and they go to Penix midway
it starts
through.
way before that. I mean, Kirk Cousins' whole career has been wild. He's bet on
Robert
himself. Griffin was drafted number 2 in his draft. He was a 3rd, 4th round pick. I can't remember if it was 4th or 3rd. I think 3rd out of Michigan State.
Yeah.
He sits behind Griffin. He has the Rookie of the Year season. And Kirk Cousins is an afterthought. And then Griffin starts getting hurt and he's thrust into duty. And then he gets these guaranteed contracts, fully guaranteed. He's on the franchise tag with Washington year to year, making a ton of money.
And he played well.
And then
those years.
Minnesota, he bet on himself
and he played
it.
well.
Yeah, he played well. And then Minnesota, his agent, they say this Mike McCarthy, one of the greatest deals ever constructed by an agent, a fully guaranteed contract from Minnesota. And he made fully guaranteed from Atlanta. Kirk Cousins' financials are some of the best in the history of the game by his fully guaranteed deals
per stat,
and betting on himself. But I think this is a much diminished
That's kind
form.
of admirable for Kirk Cousins, actually.
Yes, it is. Taking a shot on yourself. And
he believes in himself. He's now 37, and now the Raiders believe in him a little bit, too, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't heard, this is fresh news, so we haven't heard the reasoning from Raiders brass yet.
Diana Rossini, the ESPN reporter, was out in front of this. She said March 11th that the Raiders may eye Kirk Cousins to, quote-unquote, groom Fernando Mendoza.
I don't hate that. I don't
love it.
Well, who do you want to groom him?
Do you like it? Do you personally like this move?
Well, answer my question.
I'm asking a Raiders fan. I want the from the boots on the ground with that team. So what do you think about that?
I don't love it. And I do like Kirk Cousins. I root for the guy, like you said, and he bets on himself. I like him. I think he's a great guy, but I just don't feel like this is a great move. I don't love it.
I don't think that it's Geno Smith, but I think it's maybe
a little
step
bit above Geno, but it's not that much better.
He's not going to have the interceptions. Kirk Cousins is more conservative with the ball. He's going to be more of a game manager.
Okay, you guys are missing the point, I think.
I'm not missing the point. You got the number 1 pick. It's a supercharged, fast sports car, and you're taking a 97 Camry and putting it in there for him.
No, you're not. He's there to back him up. The Raiders are they know Kirk Cousins' best days are clearly behind him, but he is absolutely perfect for the Raiders as a good backup, Paul. You're missing the point. Say what you want about Cousins and his diminished skills at 37 years old, but we've seen quarterbacks playing to 40 to 41. I mean, look at Phillip Rivers coming back in the postseason, and he can't even move. He looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy, and he's still throwing dimes. Yeah. So I don't care about the age right now. Say what you want. I will take Kirk Cousins under center as a backup over Aiden O'Connell every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I don't think anybody.
But that's the point. That's what they're doing here.
Nobody said that the backup was a spot that we're worried about.
What do you
Me
think
and
they're
her
doing?
are worried about them starting Cousins.
Good. If you're worried about that, it's even a better signing because that means he's pushing him.
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point.
Guess.
Another great quality.
You play the best player in sports. I understand. You play the best guy always.
But
you always want to put the best guy out there. But who cares if he's a mentor? You've got a thoroughbred horse here, ready to run, and you're going to let a 37-year-old injured quarterback have his spot.
No, you're not. He doesn't have the spot. He just signed a free agent deal. You're jumping to conclusions.
That's my assumption. Why would you sign it if you're not planning to start him?
Mentor the number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza. You're reading way too much into this. That's a great quality that Cousins can serve as a mentor as he navigates his first season in the NFL. And if he isn't ready to start, Cousins can step in as a temporary solution until the Indiana superstar is ready to go.
I just say it's a tough beat for Raiders fans.
What have the Raiders lacked?
KC is
What
starting
have
for
the
you.
Raiders lacked? There was a story that came out a couple weeks ago, like Tom Brady was about to walk through that door and quarterback the Raiders. They have had nobody at the quarterback position since Carr left, and he wasn't even that great as a Raider.
Really, since Rich Gannon had that 04 season.
Yeah, that was the last.
It's been the last great quarterback season for the
So
Raiders.
you don't think that Kubiak, a great offensive mind, the son of a coach, is looking at everything to bolster this roster? Then you're kidding yourself now.
I guess.
Well, I guess that's why it's surprising because Kubiak is such a brilliant offensive mind. And then you have Tom Brady as a co-owner. Like, what better mentors could you possibly ask for? But, I mean,
I think it's great for Mendoza. You see it as a threat. I see it as an attribute of strength.
I don't love it. I just don't love it.
Why?
Because if he ends up starting
in the
week
NFL
one, it's not good for the Raiders and Fernando Mendoza's development. If you're drafted number one, it's not 2003, it's 2026. You play your first round pick at number one overall.
I guarantee you, Paulie, what were all of the Raiders players' agents mad about last year?
Geno Smith.
No. What were all the players' agents mad about? They're not all pinpointing the quarterback. They're mad at the coaching staff. They're mad at the front office because they didn't develop young talent. They brought in Tyler Lockett, Geno Smith, all these aging veterans that took minutes away from developing their guys' young skills in the NFL. That mistake, I don't think, will be made again. If it does, that's a bad start for Kubiak. That's a bad look for the Raiders again. And and that's not what's going to happen here. I am telling you right now, he is going to come in, be a mentor, and help groom him, and he'll be a backup. And if he's not ready, Mendoza's not ready, he might start a few games. Yeah. That, to me, is good. I don't know why you're dead set on hating this move. You're getting him for dirt cheap. The land of Valka's got to pay him all that guaranteed money at this point in his career.
You might be right.
You're going to get him for nothing.
I got to hope that's the case.
Look up his contract details.
Sometimes that doesn't matter.
They waived him.
I know, but they're not going to pick up. Atlanta's paying him a king's ransom. Why would they pay him more than? I'm assuming this is probably the vet minimum.
My point exactly. If you're assuming that, and that's what they get Kirk Cousins for, I'll take him again over Aiden O'Connell all day long.
But it's only if he is Aiden O'Connell. If he's your starter, then it's another year of Geno Smith. You don't understand that.
Did you see what Kirk Cousins did after Penix got hurt this year? He was serviceable.
He was fine.
A lot better than Geno or Aiden.
He was better than
That's
Geno.
true. Yeah.
Yes.
So
well,
I don't know why you're poo-pooing this move for the Raiders. It might be one of the better moves they've ever made, and you're dishing it.
Because number one overall picks, it's a sink or swim test. You know, you throw them out there, you let them play, you let them fight through the rough times and get through it. The adversity,
I know you're
the
acting
bad
like
games,
they're not going to do that because they signed a 37-year-old mentor backup.
Well, you don't need a guy over your shoulder as well. You don't need the fan base going when Mendoza has a 3-pick game going, well, we got Cousins, let's put him in there. We don't need that. You need to build the franchise around the number one pick, not a 37-year-old backup.
But but you're missing the point. He's a 37-year-old backup
that could play significant snaps for this team if they deem Mendoza's not ready.
That's a good thing. Competition in the NFL is paramount. Like everybody, the best teams, you watch Hard Knocks, the best teams are competing in every position.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the NFL. This is not the UFL. This is not the Canadian football. This is the National Football League.
I get it. And I think when you have the number one overall pick, you need to let them play.
They're going to. I don't see
I'm
why
talking
you're
about game one. I'm not talking about letting there be a break-in period from games 1 through 4.
I will bet you a steak dinner Mendoza starts game 1.
I don't know if I would take that.
Thank you.
Though.
So your whole argument is that Mendoza's got to look over his shoulder, and my whole argument that they're bringing in a serviceable backup and mentor.
Yeah.
But yet you're worried about him starting, but you won't take that back.
I already got you a steak recently, so I don't feel like doing it again. And this is a bet I could lose. So, you know.
Yeah, I think you're overreacting.
All right.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by your point, but I see it completely different. I love this move.
Okay.
Terry, you don't love this move either.
It was a wrench for sure. I'm having to kind of mentally grasp it and what it's going to mean. And like you said, if he just comes in and is helping him and he's a good backup, then I think it is a good move.
Yeah.
I just want to see Mendoza out there, and I want to see the O-line strong. So Genty gets a lot more, playing time, like increase the run. And
hey, Kubiak was in Seattle. I mean, I don't know if you noticed what Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker did, but they got plenty of totes last year.
Yeah.
Seattle led the NFL in runs.
Yeah.
They run the ball 49% of the time or something. They threw it like 51% of the time. So you're going to get that if the blueprint is similar to what Kubiak did in Seattle. Now, he's only in Seattle 1 year after he came over from the Saints, but Gary's kid took Seattle and won a Super Bowl.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was supposed to be a rebuild year after Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf and waving Tyler Lockett and Bobby was long gone in Washington after 2 stints in Seattle. This was supposed to be maybe, a playoff year for Seattle, but they weren't supposed to win the Super Bowl this year. If you had a future bet on the Seahawks, you did well.
I think the Raiders, like Tara's talking about, are making the steps to improve the protection, the running lanes. I mean, anytime you sign an offensive lineman to a 3-year, $81 million deal, you're taking the offensive line seriously.
You got to remember, too, that this reunites Cousins with Kubiak, too. He was his quarterback's coach and eventual offensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings for a couple of seasons.
Right.
So Kubiak is saying, hey, you know my offense, you know my stuff, we've got rapport, this will be good chemistry, this will help groom Mendoza. I think you're missing that point, too. So
I think that's good.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it. It doesn't change the Raiders not drafting Mendoza. It doesn't mean they're not starting Mendoza. It's just an insurance policy and a mentor. And as that, I see it as a positive. All right. Show today brought to you by Coral Canyon Golf Course. Get out and swing the sticks. Coral Canyon is fantastic. 435-688-1700. Get your tee times, or you go over to coralcanyongolf.com. We got to take a break. We're back in a flash. Welcome back, everybody. It is The Drive. Devin, Dixon hanging out with you. And boy, oh boy, I am excited as ever. Let me talk to you for just a second. Yesterday, I had my call with my nutritionist with soda, diet, and nutrition. And let me talk to you for a second here. If you've been carrying around a few extra pounds and you got a few lbs that you could let go of, you're feeling a little sluggish, your clothes don't fit like they used to, you don't look in the mirror and like what you see. I get it. And I know there's quick fixes out there. There's the shots, there's the drugs, the apps, the endless starting over, only to lose a little bit to gain it back. But what if this time it could be different? What if this time you had a nutritionist standing by, an expert you could lean on, take you by the hand and walk you through what to eat, when to eat it, and make better decisions on your health and diet? Soda Weight Loss is what they used to be called. They've changed their name to Soda Diet and Nutrition, and they're making it easier than ever. It's just real food from the grocery store. No pills, no injections, no guessing what to eat. You get your own nutritionist who coaches you personally, checks in with you every week, and adjusts everything as your body changes. Women are dropping 2 to 3 pounds a week. Men dropping 3 to 5 pounds per week. Do that for 10 weeks. See where you're at. You stay full, you have real energy, and best of all, you get to feel like you're in control again. And right now, this spring, when you join, your partner joins for free. 2 people, real accountability for the price of 1. Clients are saying how much they love this program. 9,000 Google reviews. The stars are out, and everything is easy to follow. And the nutritionists are so encouraging, and in just 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. Think how your life can look completely different. This July, 4th of July, you're at the lake strutting around, swimsuit out, energy's back. You're feeling lighter this summer. And this isn't something you have to stay on forever like other things. It's something you learn and have for life. So stop waiting. If you start now, everything can change. Go to sodadietandnutrition.com. That's SOTA, S-O-T-A, dietandnutrition.com. Or you can call 866-800-SODA. That's 866-800-SOTA. Join them for a short time to have results that'll last a lifetime. And I'm just getting started on the program, and I'm all fired up. We're going to be talking about my journey over the next 10-plus weeks. We just got a couple minutes here in the segment. And Puka, I want to talk about this because we've been kind of dishing on Puka. I think the country has been watching Puka kind of self-destruct in viral videos of him passed out at bars or him on social media hitting on celebrities and influencers and trying to get dates by going skydiving. I like to go skydiving.
Yeah. And biting people.
I don't know what happened.
Allegedly.
And look, you know what happened to BYU with Puka, right? He got a woman pregnant.
Right.
Couldn't go to BYU originally. Went to the University of Washington.
Yeah.
Then transferred back to BYU. Sneaky good draft pick by the Rams.
Yeah.
Sets the world on fire his rookie year, backs it up with another sensational sophomore year, and just keeps it rolling to where he is considered one of the best receivers in the National Football League. I don't know anybody out there that will put a current NFL wide receiver list and not have Puka Nacua in the top 5.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, sure, you got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and now Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua. I mean, those are your short list of stars right now in the National Football League. But I was very encouraged to see Puka check himself in right before the lawsuit.
Yeah.
A female saying that he was inappropriate, bitter, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's a money grab or not. I wasn't there. I have no idea. No comment. I'm not a judge, jury. Sometimes you wonder when these guys have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And when you do something stupid and you open up your alleyway for something like that to happen, an opportunity knocks. And if he did do something when he was inebriated, then this doesn't shock anybody right now. These
I don't think so.
Lawsuits are pending, whether they're true or not. But I was thrilled to see Puka check himself into rehab.
Yeah. His agent, Levi McCatherine, or I'm sorry, not agent, his attorney, tells TMZ Sports Puka's currently in Florida, or in Malibu, California, and he's using the time to get in tip-top shape personally and professionally ahead of the season. So they're still talking he's going to play. So hopefully he can get through this.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a long grind. It's the NFL season. He went out and had some fun, probably a little too much fun. Cameras are everybody. You're
Yeah.
a star now. Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
And it was not a good look for Puka Nacua.
No.
You know, he went
not
on the
at all.
podcast during the season, said some silly things, and you know, it's not a good look when you're passed out and women are twerking on you as you're fainted
Yeah.
at a bar or a club.
And there's talk, we've mentioned the bite, there's the anti-Semitic comments
Yep.
that have been alleged as well. So like it's like he's had a whirlwind of an off season, and I didn't think it would end in this, but maybe they're seeing foresight and seeing ahead that they need to nip this in the bud before it becomes a bigger problem.
Well, I think Puka's probably his agent. His attorney's like, hey, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
His agent's like, hey, I'm trying to get you a long-term extension right now, like Jackson Smith and Jigba just
Yeah.
got.
Right.
You know, and so all of a sudden, you know, Puka's in a precarious situation where maybe the Rams aren't willing to pay him as much with all his off-the-field extracurricular activities that are not exactly the best look or the best for his body as an NFL star wide receiver.
Yes.
Drama has followed him. Problems. Now he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't been arrested, and he didn't roll his car, and he hasn't left the country to go to rehab. But they didn't find, you know, pills in his pocket. But at the end of the day, it's really similar. And when people have a problem, people have a problem, and they need to seek professional help. And it seems like, to whatever level of extent, that's what Puka Nacua is doing.
Yeah. Good for him. Hope he gets it straightened out.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a better option than this right now.
Probably
He
not.
was kind of spiraling out of control. All right, hour one of the books here from the Finley Hyundai Studios. Hour two, Coach Chris Fatenauer joining us when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Drive Show today, brought to you by our good friends at Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health, standing by to help guys look and feel their best. And, of course, they've got free T-test. That's right, absolutely free. You need to know your T levels. Get your free T-test. Game Day Men's Health. You can call or text for that free appointment, 435-265-4223. That's 435-265-4223. And Game Day Men's Health, they're doing some really cool things and changing people's lives over there. And they're doing a 45-day energy drive and focus reset. What does that mean? Well, it's a way to get your edge back fast. They'll do a comprehensive hormone and lab panel to know exactly what's off. Performance follow-up lab panel to see what's improving. 6 week of performance vitamin injections. Doctor-guided optimization plan, so you're not guessing. And they'll find out what's actually wrong and break down piece by piece, session by session, clarity for all you guys out there. Normally, this would cost you nearly $1,000. Right now, they're doing this for under $300. This is a 45-day energy and drive and focus reset. If you're not willing to invest $297 in yourself to feel better, then you should really rethink that. GameDayMen'sHealth.com/St. George. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/St. George. And Paulie, Game Day Men's Health.
Reclaim your game.
Thank you very much. Let's get to the headlines.
Oh, shoot. I hit the wrong one.
All right, misfire. We're not ready to go to break. We were just in a break there. Fat fingers today. I do it all the time, Tara. You were gone last week. I was. You should have seen me in there pushing the wrong buttons. Paul was laughing at me.
Oh, no.
I was.
Yeah. We are going to get to the headlines right
Okay, now we'll do that.
Hey, but Dutton Air Care.
Yes.
A great spot for an ad.
Great voice on that ad.
And Paul, you sounded so elegant.
Absolutely. That's right.
That was Polly, huh?
Oh,
It
yeah.
was.
Yeah. Dancing Paulie, we call him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
This guy's got
Tara
more-
doesn't know anything about that. She wasn't there last
That's
night.
true.
That's right.
That's true.
There was a lot of moves being showcased.
we were excited.
I saw the instant replays. I wasn't impressed.
We were excited. We were excited.
Never impressed.
Paulie was dancing in the press box at Snow Canyon. last night.
Yes.
Let's start
Having a good old
with
time.
let's start with the high school baseball. Fireworks everywhere as Dixie in extra innings outlast Snow Canyon 13-11. If you just read that headline, you wouldn't really get the whole story. This game was a seesaw battle. There was ejections, there was controversial plays and calls, and at the end of the day, Dixie does win by 2. We had a balk, take away a walk-off grand slam. We had a home run with a bat flip that led to an ejection of the player that hit it and the coach of the team that hit it, and it was absolutely bananas at the ballpark last night over at SC. And the rematch tonight at 7 o'clock, gonna be.
I want to be there. I'm not going to lie.
It's gonna be wild.
Yes.
It's gonna be wild. You know, Snow Canyon gonna be hungry to bounce back.
Yeah.
And you
that's
know,
right.
Dixie would love in this rivalry to get a season sweep in the regular season.
Absolutely.
So a big one last night for the Flyers. They notched their first region win. Snow Canyon drops their first region loss. So right now, Cedar is leading Region 9 at 2-0.
Yes.
Pineview is 1-0. Everybody else has at least a loss.
Yeah.
Right?
So
right.
it's early, but they all matter when it comes to Region 9 baseball. Other local sports news, Desert
one.
Hills lost their second in a row last night in high school baseball, 5-2. So they lost 3-1 to Crimson on Tuesday. They lost 5-2 to Pineview last night. So Desert Hills will go to Pineview tonight to try to get back on track, and Pineview will be going for the sweep. And Cedar will also be coming down to play at Hurricane. So those are your high school baseball games tonight. Other baseball news, Utah Tech fired up a homestand this weekend against Sac State. Coach Fatenauer will be in here in about 10 minutes, and we'll give you a little preview of the final season of the WAC and the WAC opener this weekend, 4-game set against Sac State.
Yeah, absolutely. Some big news just coming across the wire relating to local college basketball. Southern Utah freshman guard Elijah Duvall plans to transfer, he told League Ready. The 6'3 guard out of Wilmington, Delaware, long way away from home, was named the WAC Freshman of the Year and second team All-WAC for the Thunderbirds this season. He averaged 15.3 points per game, 4.0 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.2 steals per game in 25-26. So Rob Jeter loses a huge piece.
Yeah, if he indeed doesn't come back, right? Like
I would assume.
Sometimes, guys, we saw Mason Falslev, Utah State, go in the portal and come back. It does happen, but it appears he's testing the waters. Everybody kind of wants to test and see what kind of calls they get, see what kind of NIL offers they're getting, and then they can make a decision. You're basically opening up your recruiting all over again.
That's right, and probably not very well or highly recruited out of high school. His recruiting now will be a lot more intensified over the next couple weeks. So I'd assume, and I'd love to be wrong here, but I think the Thunderbirds going to lose a good one here.
Yeah, and it sounds like Utah Tech has about everybody in the portal that had eligibility to come back.
And that's brutal.
I mean, the two guys that I thought might stay, one of them went in the portal yesterday, and that was guard Snow College transfer Chance Trujillo.
Yes.
Yeah, I was hoping that was an April Fool's prank.
Yeah,
like,
it coincidentally was on April Fool's,
I
right?
know. I'm like, please make that be a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Tanner Davis go in the portal yet, but I've seen about everybody else Trailblazer go in the portal. And look, kind of the rosters are going to overhaul every single season.
Nature of college sports right now.
Jazz have now lost 7 consecutive games. Jazz,
they're doing the job.
They're tanking perfectly. Utah loses to the Denver Nuggets 130-117 at home last night. Bryce Sensabaugh had a team high 28. Filipowski put up 25. Jazz will be back on the floor tomorrow on the road against the Houston Rockets. Anybody still watching Jazz basketball with a handful of games left in the season? They have the 5th worst record right now in the association.
Next big must-watch or, have to view event for the Jazz is the draft lottery.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Mammoth are back on the ice tonight.
Yeah.
Mammoth,
here we go.
On the road to take on the Kraken in Seattle.
Yep.
Good news for the Mammoth. They are 2-0 against Seattle. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that's not good news. Maybe Seattle's due tonight.
Not in this studio. It's not good news for at least one of our
cohorts.
No,
that's the problem is I'm torn because I love the Mammoth, but the Kraken too. They're my team. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's the problem with having 2 teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah. It makes it hard.
Utah currently holds 82 points right now. 82 points now. Is that correct? Is that where they're at in the standings? And
it is correct.
Very much in the mix for their first franchise playoff appearance, which is pretty exciting for
I think
the
I
Mammoth fans.
let me check Money Puck once again, but I think that their percentage has improved even. It's up to 94%, 94 and some change. So as of Wednesday. So going into today, 5 ticks off 100% making the playoffs.
I wonder how all the old diehard hockey fans feel when their team's not in the playoffs in Vegas and Seattle, the 2 expansion teams, and then the Phoenix Coyotes franchise relocated to Salt Lake City. They all could be in the playoffs this year. The 3 youngest teams virtually in the league. So.
Right.
Yeah, and it's crazy. In our last Mammoth game against the Caps, actually met the owner of KJ's Ice Barn. He's a huge Caps fan. Said he'd been a Caps fan since the 90s. So I think Utah, obviously not having a team for so long, left the Avalanche, some of the Western teams, the Knights, even the Caps for that guy. But it was crazy. I mean, Utah is now becoming a hockey state and building a hockey culture, I think. So it's pretty cool.
Other news from last night, maybe you watched this game. It was part of there was the women's NIT championship game followed by, an NBA game. So they had a little doubleheader last night on ESPN. And the BYU women's basketball team could not win the WBIT title. Cougars lose to Columbia 81-64 in the tournament championship game. I watched a little bit of this first half before I left to go over to Snow Canyon. Saw the whole second quarter. Delaney Gibb had a game high 24. Olivia Hamlin had 17. The former Snow Canyon
Nice.
Lady Warrior. Really good freshman season for Livy, to say the least. BYU
outstanding.
finishes the season 26 wins in Lee Camard's first year.
Yeah.
Salt Lake Bees lost to Sacramento, the River Cats, last night at home, 10-5. RSL's going to host the Claret and Cobalt. Will be back on the pitch Saturday against the Sporting Kansas City. They're sitting sixth in the Western Conference with a 3-1-1 record to this point in the early season.
Yeah.
And the VGK are back on the ice tonight as well.
Yeah.
Busy night on the ice.
Yeah.
Anything I missed?
I don't really think that there's any too pressing ones. Obviously, the Kirk Cousins deal to the Raiders, which the terms have still not been announced. We kind of talked about that at the end of the first hour, and Puka, being in rehab. I think those are the two big, somewhat local, as Puka being a BYU guy and the Raiders being right down the road. But those are really the only two that come to mind.
Yeah. Good stuff. Off and running. Hour two. Wemby stayed hot last night in the NBA as well. Have you been watching Wemby at all, Paulie? I'm fascinated by Wemby. Big performance against Golden State. 41 and 18 rebounds in a Wednesday night runaway road win. Spurs take down and he doubled down. I was watching SVP on SportsCenter, the post game last night. He said he'd kind of doubled down on his MVP chances. He said, I do care deeply about it, meaning the MVP. I think that of the greats that are in the Hall of Fame or the best all time, they fought and grabbed everything they could grab early on in their career. If I want to make my spot among the greats, I got to try to not miss any occasion to put my name up there. A little bit of broken English there. Didn't flow off the tongue for me, but for the Frenchman, Victor Wembanyama, I kind of like that he's aware, like, hey, I want to be the best. I want to be one of the greats.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an endearing, and if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm loving things right now. I don't know if Denver's still scary. OKC's still scary in the West. Detroit and maybe Boston. The Knicks were supposed to be that team in the East, but the Knicks. It doesn't seem like the Knicks want to play with each other right now. Something's weird in New York on the sample sizes I've seen.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to the NBA and the NHL playoffs. They are right around the corner. All right. Any other bonus balls?
I don't think so.
Take the break. Coach Chris Fate now are going to join us when we come back. Don't touch that dial. Show today brought to you by all of our Road to the Finals sponsors. We appreciate these folks helping us out with our March Madness promotion. Sunrise Tire. Someone's going to win a Traeger grill Monday night.
Yeah.
We're down to our 4 listeners that are alive with all the Final 4
that's
teams.
right.
Appreciate Grass Creek Construction. Nets on fire. Somebody's going to win a signed Lowry Marketing jersey.
Yeah.
Some
Wow.
Jazz autographed basketballs from our
Some
friends
good
at Nets.
stuff.
BryceATV.com or ATVBryce.com, I should say. If you're looking to get out of the hot weather this summer, you want to go ATV in. ATVBryce.com.
Awesome.
Go up there and see the beautiful Bryce Canyon. And we're going to be giving away some certificates for some 2-hour rentals so you can get a day trip up to Bryce Canyon.
I need to get.
Have you ever been to Bryce? Have you been to Bryce Canyon?
No, I haven't.
You got to get up there. It is
Yeah?
spectacular. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Paulie got to get out in nature a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
I need a little be more one with
We
nature.
want Polly to know how neat nature is, and just not me and Devin knowing it.
When it's 110 in St. George,
Yeah.
it'll be about 80, 85 up there.
Okay,
And you
see?
go cool off
That'd
and
be
go
nice.
up in the hills and
Yeah.
go on a little hike.
You know what's climate controlled all the time?
Your casita.
My couch.
Yeah.
Your couch doesn't have AC in
Well,
it.
I mean my house.
Yeah, but you said
I keep
couch.
it at-
Couch, yeah.
yeah, I botched that. But
Yeah.
I keep it at 68
He's
in
got-
the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Your
It's
car,
beautiful.
Your car might have the cooling seats. That's like a must if you're car shopping and you've
Yeah,
lived a couple
mine does
summers in
not,
southern Utah.
so.
The heated and cooled seats.
Yeah, I got the
Oh,
heat.
it's
No
game changer.
cool, but
Oh, yeah, that cools you
brutal.
down real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. And we appreciate Grass Creek Construction, House of Jump, Dixie Direct, and all of our fabulous Freddies, all of our great partners hooking you up. Zag as well with prizes. We'll see who wins the fan challenge and the bracket challenge. Terrence leading going into the Final Four. So we'll see if he can hold out and win the $995 in cold, hard cash. Take the break. Coach Fatenauer joins us when we come back. It's The Drive from the Findlay Hyundai Studios. Welcome back, everybody. It is 8:20 on the Fan Sports Network. Greetings, salutations, good morning. Thank you for locking us in, loading us up here on the Fan Show today. Brought to you by our friends at Jimmy John's. Don't forget to vote for your Jimmy John's Highlight of the Week and send us your video clips. If we choose yours, we're going to give you a $100 gift card to Jimmy John's. Just go to our website to upload your home videos. And we had another home video submitted last week on the lacrosse no-looker, and we'll see what we get this week, but it's starting to build momentum, and people are starting to love the Jimmy John's highlight of the week. Check it out on our socials at The Fan as Sin. As promised, now gracious enough to join us in studio before a huge weekend WAC opening homestand, head coach, the skip himself, Coach Chris Fatenauer of Utah Tech Baseball in studio. And Coach, good to see you, buddy. Welcome back home after it seems like you've been on the road quite a bit the last month or so.
Yeah, we have. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys, and excited to be home, sleep in the bed, and get out of Hearst.
I know we got 2 or 3 at Southern Illinois, so you win the series there. You had to feel good about the road trip. I know you would have liked to win that tight one in St. Louis as well, as St. Louis clipped us there 3-2. I think the final score was. But overall, your thoughts on the road trip on that 4-game swing back east a little bit?
Yeah, anytime you can win a series, that's huge. And you get a midweek matchup against a team on the road, and you just need some breaks. And talk about the videos you guys are having sent in. I don't know if you saw the catch that ended the game that would have won the game for us, but their center fielder made an unbelievable catch in the gap and robbed Krapel of a double and 2 RBIs. But we played well, pitched really well on the trip, and just hope to continue that going into WAC play.
Are you excited for the last run in the WAC?
Yeah, I
know you're more excited about the future in the Mountain West.
Yeah, we don't look at, we just want to win a conference. I mean, that's our goal going into the year. And I don't know if, you set that as a goal every year. I don't know if that's been realistic for us some of these years as we we're newbies into Division I. But I think our guys feel really good about it, and I feel good about our club and where we're at.
Man, Petey's been playing well, former Crimson Cliffs Mustang. Petey's doing his thing. Krapel's unbelievable. I think there's a couple guys on this team that are getting some MLB scouts' attention, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how much you can comment on that, but I've heard there's been some scouts hanging around the program a little bit more this year.
We've had the most we've ever had, in my 14 years here, and certainly Kyle McDaniel, Ryan Krapel, Petey Soto, 3 guys that are spearheading that. And they're all juniors. We certainly hope to bring them back, but we also want what's best for them and their family, and so we'll support them any way we can. But right now, they've done a great job, too, of keeping the focus on the club, their teammates, and what we're trying to accomplish.
How's the pitching been overall this year? Have you been pretty pleased? I know that was a big emphasis of the offseason. You guys brought in a new pitching coach. You really wanted to improve in that department. ERA was inflated last year. Are you happy with, the preseason non-conference part as far as the staff is concerned?
Yeah, 100%. We've pitched really well. I mean, if you look at the total ERA, it's a little inflated. About 3 games get away from us. The 2 BYU games and the 1 game down at UNLV that just kind of get away and get going. But outside of that, they've given us a chance every game. We've defended at a high level, and we've gotten a lot of arms that have contributed in a lot of ways. Back end guys, front end guys, middle guys, and guys we've asked to do some things out of character.
Love it. Coach Fatenauer hanging out with us here. We've got a lot to get to. Tell us about the opponent for the weekend here and what to expect. I mean, these games count. Here we go, WAC play.
Yeah.
And people probably don't realize Sacramento State is in the WAC in baseball only. So Sac State, the home opener in conference.
Yeah, they've been in the WAC for a long time. They're actually the longest tenured team in the WAC and for baseball. And Reggie does a great job. Before I got here and I was at Nevada Reno, we competed against them in the WAC. But they can really pitch it. I think they're leading the conference in ERA right now. They've got a guy at the front end that's really good. He threw really well against Kansas this week. But yeah, they do a great job on the mound. They've got a couple hitters that are guys that you don't want to mess with, and they're not going great right now, but they're guys that are waiting to unload. And it'll be a great series. We've actually been very successful against them over our first 5 years in Division I. I think we've won more series than we haven't, but they're an amazing opponent, and they're a team. We all have the same goal, and the WAC is as deep as it's ever been. Only 7 teams. I think all 7 teams could win it. You can't usually say that about a conference. So, it'll be a great start for us and see where we're at.
Coach, obviously the WAC game's super important for your conference standing, your conference record. But you've already played BYU this year. You get on next Tuesday, April 7th, the Utes come down I-15 to Bruce Hurst Field. Is there a lot of excitement among the team to play another in-state rival with such a big brand in Utah? Yeah,
there always is, and that's the hard part about Division I baseball. As you focus on the weekend series and trying to win that conference series, but your midweeks are usually teams close to you. UNLV, Utah, BYU, teams that are in-state rivals or geographical rivals. So it's always hard. You want to have some good arms left for those games. But yeah, ultimately the focus is the conference weekends. But we love bringing Utah down here. We beat them the last 2 years here at our place, and haven't fared as well up there the last couple of years. But we're excited for every opponent that comes into Hearst. We're really excited. Our crowds have been great this year. Weather's been fantastic. So, whoever's in that other dugout will compete at a high level.
Same rotation. Is it Price and West 1 and 2 this weekend?
Yeah, Price, West, and Coastal.
Yeah.
Coastal's been lights out. He's been really good. He's probably actually pitched a little bit better than the win-loss would indicate. Last week he was dealing with some sickness that we all are, as you can tell by my voice. But we actually took him out a little bit early. Could have earned that win, but he was kind of out of gas. And Dakota West has thrown tremendous this year. His outing at UNLV, it doesn't look like it because we end up losing 11-1. He threw really well, and then kind of piggybacked that with an awesome outing in Carbondale, Illinois. But those guys have been great. And Jackson Price is kind of the newest member of that rotation, and he's a guy that we signed last year out of a junior college, expecting him to be a Friday night guy, and we're just trying to get him to that spot. But we're excited about the arms we have on the front end, and we're excited about the back end of that bullpen too.
What are you more proud of, the home record or the road record right now? I mean, it's a winning record on the road. I think you're 10-8. I think you've only dropped maybe 2 at home, so a lot better at home at Hearst, maybe 3. 18 wins already this season, but are you happier with how the guys have grinded on the road, or are you a little bit more proud of the better home record so far?
Yeah, I mean, they both are great. I mean, going on the road and getting wins in Division I baseball is super hard. We've experienced that, the last few years, and even go back to Division II, when we were pretty dominant, it was still hard, to go on the road and win a series. Obviously, that first road trip was big for us, going, 6 or 7-1 and being on the road for 10 days. But we've had 3 road trips so far, and it's been 5 days, 6 days, and 10 days. So our guys are as close as they've ever been.
They're bonded.
A lot of bus time, a lot of airport time, hotel time. But we've battled some weather in those trips. We've battled some injury, some sickness. So we're pretty battle tested right now, and I really like that we're exactly halfway through the year. We've seen everything, we've experienced everything, and now we can just go out and play.
Is it fair to say that the personality of the players really comes out on the road? I mean, you get to know those guys a little bit. When you spend 10 days on the road with the guy, you know who the funniest on the team is. You know who the goofiest is. You know who the most serious. Like, you learn a lot about these guys that maybe you knew a little bit, but even at a deeper level.
Yeah, and we're programmed. Over the years, we do a lot with our guys away from the field. We've had two experiences at Top Golf on the road and Crush here locally one night.
Oh, nice.
We went to a Cardinals game in St. Louis last weekend. So
that's fun team bonding stuff.
Yeah, we've go-karted in the past. We do movies. We do a lot of things together. And
are you still the longest hitter of everybody in the program?
Dude, you golf with me a lot. That's not.
You know what that is.
I'll score though.
I'll
score though. Yeah. I can score. But yeah, so we do a lot of things with our guys off the baseball field, and so you get to know a lot about guys, and that's part of why we do it. We want them to care about each other and get to know each other, and we want to know what buttons to push too. And you don't always know that in the dugout in the clubhouse, so you got to get some guys away from the field and kind of see what fires them up and what scares them and those kind of things, and that allows us to vet our guys a little bit more and know what buttons we can and can't push.
Loving talking a little ball and stick. It's going to be popping at the Bruce down at Hearst this weekend. It's going to be Sac State for the series, and then Utah the following Tuesday, Easter weekend. Yeah. Weather should be warming back up. Actually, the weather looks great this weekend, doesn't it, Coach?
Yeah, we've been blessed with really good weather this year at home, and not that St. George is known for it, but we've had some cold early seasons before, and then all of a sudden it got hot a couple weeks ago. We were touching 100 almost, and when Fresno State was in. And so, we're excited for the next couple of weeks. I think we got 7 straight at home and some great opponents coming in, and we're looking forward to competing.
Who's a guy that's really pleasantly surprised you so far on the roster? I mean, you love all these guys. You recruited all these guys, but is there a guy that's exceeded your expectations when you recruited him this season with the way they've handled themselves or played?
Yeah, honestly, I'd give you a couple guys. On the mound, one would be Jonah Marshall.
Oh, okay.
4th-year senior. Hasn't pitched a lot, if you look at his numbers, but 4th-year senior, guy that just unbelievable teammate, unbelievable character guy.
0 ERA right now.
Yeah. Wow. And he's a guy, so if you ever watched him in the past, he's about a 3/4 arm slot guy.
Okay.
When we decided to bring him back this year, we said, hey, man, if you come back, you got to drop down and be a submariner. We need that. You're athletic. You can do that. and it's taken him a while to own it, and get there, but hasn't allowed a run this year, hasn't allowed a hit, has been lights out from down there. Now it's a little bit of a matchup thing against right-hand hitters, but for him to embrace that as a senior and not go, hey, I'm going to the portal or I'll do something else, awesome. Speaks.
You need a guy that'll take on that role like that.
Speaks tons about his character and what he cares about the program. And then on the other side of the baseball, I'd probably give you two guys. I mean, Petey Soto, everybody loves Petey, and he's a good player, but he hasn't offended at this level, before. And he's had tremendous at-bats. He's cut down his strikeouts.
Yeah.
He's done a great job in the weight room. So, people wouldn't expect him to be a guy that, pleasant surprise, but, man, the way he's playing and the way he's competing and the way he cares about the program and, the strides he's made to become better in the weight room and to become, cut down his strikeouts and move the baseball a little bit more has been huge. And then the last guy would be Ty Johnson. One of our catchers who caught a lot last year, but I think hit 255 last year.
Yeah.
Right now he's going about 320.
Wow.
He's moving the baseball. Leadership is off the charts, and so really excited about those guys. But man, we just got a bunch of guys just plug in, just knowing their roles. Doing what, not having to win the game for us. Just do your job. Do what we brought you here to do, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, how hard is it to set the lineup card? Is it getting pretty easy now, 28 games into the season, or is it still this guy, I want to kind of see what he can do maybe tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we play some left-right things with the pitchers. We've got some guys like Gavin Long and Cooper Smith that are in there against right-handers, and then we kind of flip it against left-handers. So our lineup's pretty set. Doesn't mean there's not guys that sneak in there once in a while, get some opportunities, or we can get a game where, but everybody's got a role, and the Gretzmacher kid, terrible, sad. He scored the winning run against Austin P on that final game of that series and tore his ACL in the celebration.
Yeah.
And
I know he played a few games.
And he was kind of our pinch runner, right? He was like our best runner off the bench. So I bring him up just because guys have roles, and if they embrace their role, whether that means you're going to get 200 at bats and play every day, or whether that means you're going to be a pinch runner in a late game situation. We have a lot of guys that know their role and play their role well. That's why we're having success. And so not super hard to make the lineup, but you also want to reward some guys for the work they do at practice and the time that they've put in. And so hopefully we can get some big wins and get some guys in there.
I know this team has a lot of guys that are back from last year. You've done a pretty good job. You're always going to lose some guys, but I feel like you've done a really good job in roster retention with the NIL and the portal. And I know you're a big chemistry guy, and the fit matters. You want to build and recruit kids that fit the program. What's the focus? What's the chatter like getting ready for WAC play now that was maybe different from last week's road trip? I mean, a little bit more excitement now that we're starting conference?
Yeah, I think we have a better, going to play Southern Illinois and Carbondale, we didn't have a lot of information. We can watch video. We all have access to some scouting stuff, but, you get a team like Sac State who we've played 3 to 4 times a year for the last 5 years. You have a lot of dope. You know what they're about, how they're going to run their program, how they're going to pitch it. Might have some new players, but you kind of know what they're about. So we can be a little more focused in our preparation. Now this week we got 1 day of practice, because we flew home from St. Louis on Tuesday and gave them the day off and practiced yesterday, and then we go today on an early week with Easter. So a little more information going into it, a little more preparation. It still means you still got to throw it over the plate, you still got to hit it, you still got to pick it up and throw it across the diamond. But I think just a little different aspect of preparation going into these conference weekends.
And Coach, obviously coaching is a 24/7, 365 job. And during the season, how often do you make it out to a Snow Canyon Dixie game, to see some of the local prospects? I know it's a lot on your plate right now in season, but how often do you get out and recruit locally during the year?
We had 2 coaches out last night.
Oh,
nice. We had one guy at where you guys were at Dixie High. We had another guy over at Desert Hills. And, the NCAA rules don't allow you to go out until March 1st. So we miss all those early season things. We can't be at any of that, which stinks. When we were at Division II, we could. But as a Division I, you cannot go out until March 1st.
I did not know that.
So we can't go out till March 1st. Then the hard part is usually in Region 9, they've played Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
Well, what's our schedule? Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Mirrors you, right?
So it gets hard. Now that they've added these Wednesday games, it does help a little bit. So we're trying to get out a little bit more. My assistant coaches do a great job of getting out. I obviously try and haven't got to, but want to go out and support all the local teams, especially, Desert Hills with Jagan, who's an alum of ours.
Sure.
Dixie with Chunner, who's a neighbor of mine, and good relationship with Reed and everybody in town. So we try and get out as much as we can. You're right, it's a 24-hour job. throw parenting in there,
Yeah.
and being a husband.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's a little bit more. So there's been some decisions that I've had to make of, you go watch your daughter play soccer or do you go watch a high school ball game, and try and balance that the best that I possibly can and be good at all my hats that I wear.
There you go.
Did you see? Did you happen to see Reed's ejection last night?
I was gonna say,
I didn't. I was listening to you guys on the radio though. On my,
no opinion on the bat flip or the bomb call. Huh?
no. We had our Brooksy Awards last
That's
night
right.
at the university.
That's true,
So
yeah.
our student athlete big banquet award night was last night, and so by the time we got out of there, I got on the call listening to you guys on the radio on my way home, and I think you're in about the 5th or 6th inning. So all that stuff had happened, but I heard about it.
Yeah.
And now we got an expert in the room. What is your take on kind of emphatic, not showing anybody up, not saying he looked at the dugout, but a bat flip? Where do you fall with your guys on big, kind of grandiose bat flips?
Yeah, we don't do much of that.
Oh,
No.
okay.
You know, I mean, we like to have fun. We like to get
Yeah.
after it. I think if you, I think McDaniel's had one this year and kind of a big moment, but we try and act like we've been there. It's not always easy. You also want to celebrate the game, but
Sure.
I'm a little old school. I like to just get around the bases and high five. I'm not saying that I always did that and that I always did it the right way, but sometimes we learn
That's
from our
right.
mistakes.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Kids are going to be kids, and one thing they're going to echo what they see in the major leagues and on
Sure.
TV, right? And
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a moment for a lot of things, and there's a lot of moments for not as many things.
You mentioned the Brooksy Awards, and what was some of the highlights from last night? I've been to that once or twice over the years. It's a cool event for the student athletes and
It's
the coaches,
great.
and all the student athletes of all the sports teams are there. Give us some of the highlights from last night for your team and maybe for the university.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the one that nobody can control that's tough on us is we're halfway through our season and we're doing the end of the year awards. That's nobody's fault. It's just what it is.
It is,
our
yeah.
school's out in a couple weeks, and with the portals opening for different sports, it's starting to get there. So it's hard to nominate like a player of the year or an athlete, different things when like us in softball and a couple sports that still have a lot of games remaining, but
Fair.
but we do it. It's been every year, but yeah, we were excited. We won, I think for our second or third year, we won the baseball program, won the community service award, for what
Wow.
we do in the community with our
Awesome.
Christmas things and the other sporting events we go to and some charitable time that we give. So that's always a neat thing.
You guys are everywhere. I see you at the basketball games. I see you, tailgating at the football games. You're cooking up dogs and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
put the cornhole boards out. You guys are always in the middle of all that stuff. So that's probably one you take a lot of pride
Yeah.
in.
Two things. One, I want to give back to our campus. I want to give back to the community. I want our guys to develop that. You can only lead them to the water, but at least we'll do our best to do that and try and build some charitable bones in there. The other part is that I just want our guys in the community. I want our guys, I don't want them in their dorm room staring at their phones and playing video games. There's time for that, and they do that anyways. But I want them out in the community. I'm proud of them. I want people to see them. I want them to know who they are. And I think that's an important part of the college experience, and it's like, you know me. I mean, my daughter last year, we live 4 miles from campus, and I made her live on campus last year, the freshman in college, because I want her to have that college experience. So, so that was really cool. And then Dakota West, who's a senior for us, been here for 4 years. He won the Male Trailblazer of the Year award last night, which is just an award that,
awesome.
Signifies like a guy that gives to the community. He's on campus. Also, he can play. He's a good student, but he does more than just be a student athlete. And so he won that award, which was really cool. And then Kyle McDaniel won an award. They did a big moment of the year.
Yeah.
The Pappas, young lady who hit 3 home runs this year. So the kid, our golfer, had a hole in one, some different
Right.
awards, but he had his 58 game, on base streak and 22 game hit streak that went through this year. So he won an award for that. So that was really cool. But a lot of cool things. All the kids get dressed up, and the school feeds us, and it's a really nice event they do in the Burns Arena. So.
Game 1 today, Utah Tech opening up a homestand over Easter weekend today. Because Easter Sunday, they are off. They get to celebrate that. A little family time. That'll be nice. And 6:05 first pitch tonight at the Bruce Hurst Field. It should be fun. Let's get the home crowds have been great this year. Love to see a big crowd out there tonight. Tomorrow it's also 6:05, and then Saturday is at noon.
Yeah. It's been great. We appreciate the support, man. Our attendance has done nothing but rise, during this Division I era. Obviously, some of the teams we brought in has helped that. But we're so proud of our facility. We're so proud of, our players and, putting a good product out on the field.
Chris Fate now we're the Skip in studio. Get out and support the Blazers. Watch some baseball. It's going to be a beautiful weekend starting tonight at 6:05. We got to get to a break, and we'll be back talking sports and wrapping things up on a Throwdown Thursday on the Fan Sports Network. Yes, it is the final countdown for us on the show today. Show brought to you by Prime IV. Prime IV standing by to take care of you if you've got allergies right now. And I'll tell you what, Prime IV Hydration and Wellness, they've got a great spring special right now. It's called their Allergy Buster. You can add it to any IV for just $69. It includes a triple dose of vitamin C plus a vitamin D injection to help support your immune system during the allergy season. And it's more than just allergies. If your energy is taking a hit, they've got the Energizer Bunny add-on. That's double taurine, an amino blend, plus a B12 injection to help you feel more refreshed and recharged. And if you're a member of Prime IV, you'll save an additional 10% all month long in April, so check that out. So if you're tired of feeling run down this spring, it might be time to try something different. Check out our good friends. I go there every single month. I've already been in there for the Allergy Buster myself, and it helped a ton. Check out Prime IV and start feeling like yourself again. Good stuff with Coach Chris Fate. Now our last segment. Enjoyed chatting with him. I was picking Coach's brain on off air on a couple of clips on my phone from last night. We're still buzzing about that Snow Canyon Dixie High School baseball game last night. Paulie, have you ever seen a game that had so many twists and turns? I mean, it just wrote its own script like I've never seen before.
Yeah, I hadn't seen anything like it.
You know, I've been saying expect the unexpected in Region 9 for years. That one really made that statement stand out because you couldn't have ever guessed you were going to go to the yard and saw what we saw last night.
Yes.
I mean, it was complete
Couldn't have fathomed
nutso is the word I would use for that game last night. Dixie won it, by the way, 13-11. We talked a ton about it throughout the show today. We opened with it for the first 20 minutes of the show. We played the highlights of the balk that took away a walk-off grand slam. We played the highlights of the bat flip that led to an ejection of player and coach. I mean, it was just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was.
Insane.
Truly insane.
We've got some NIT basketball tonight. Any interest in that, Paulie? Is that a little warm-up for the NCAA Final Four games on Saturday? Does that wet your whistle whatsoever?
Not really. I heard the Crown, the college basketball Crown, is starting. That's the other, postseason tournament. And I think West Virginia's in that. So I'll be watching some of that. But NIT, I don't
Only
really,
because it's your team, though.
That's right. I don't really get juiced up for any college basketball tournament other than the NCAA.
Oklahoma at Colorado tonight, Baylor at Minnesota. So you have some bigger names programs that were playing last night, I should say. And then tonight in basketball, Stanford does play your ears.
Yes, I'll be watching that.
6 o'clock FS1. Rutgers playing Creighton. Those are the Crown quarterfinals, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
New Mexico and Tulsa, and Illinois State and Auburn. Those are your games. So four college basketball games tonight.
Be something to pass. I'll probably be leaning more into the Mammoth game, being that we're so close to the playoffs. But I'll definitely be checking in with the Crown a little bit, to say the least.
Yeah. Knights are in action tonight.
Yeah.
Mammoth are in action tonight. Mammoth play the Kraken.
Yes.
I mean, two of my top favorite 3 teams.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, and Tara's 2 of her
Samesies.
Yeah,
Well,
samesies, I know.
What is the line on that game tonight? Is Kraken home?
No, Mammoth are the favorite.
But Kraken are home, right? Mammoth are on the road in Climate Pledge Arena. I went to that arena back in December. I went to a basketball game at that arena, but that arena is sweet.
It is nice.
Have you been to Climate Pledge?
No, I've just seen it. But it looks amazing.
Unbelievable. Like T-Mobile is great. Get me wrong, but a little newer, a little fresher, really hockey friendly because it was designed for hockey. Now they might be dual purpose with Seattle Sonics come back to town, which looks very likely at this point, although not a done deal. And so it's that's going to be fun. I went to the battle for Seattle with the Seattle Redhawks playing the University of Washington college basketball at that arena, and I was blown away. It was cool. Went to Tom's Watch Bar across the street. Watch some college football playoffs, and then got to go to a Seahawks game while I was on that trip. That was a fun trip to Seattle. I can't wait to go back again.
Yeah.
But busy night, like I was alluding to, on the ice tonight. Your Caps are at the Devils.
Yeah. They're up to a 15% chance on Money Puck for the playoffs.
Yep. You've got the Knights and Flames, 8 o'clock, ESPN Plus. Also 8 o'clock, ESPN Plus or Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
If you have Hulu, you can watch the Mammoth and the Kraken. So you don't
multiple platforms.
You don't,
Right?
yeah. It might be helpful if you don't happen to have ESPN Plus, but your wife's got the Disney, Hulu,
Bundle and
or whatever it is. Yeah, there's so many different streaming platforms now.
There are.
It's hard to watch everything.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, my bill is way more than it used to be with Dish or DirecTV.
That's what I'm thinking too. With all of my subscriptions between like Fubo, YouTube TV,
You gotta have everything.
ESPN Plus, Disney.
You gotta have Netflix. You
Netflix,
gotta have Paramount
Prime.
Plus if you want to watch Yellowstone
Correct.
or Madison. You gotta have
All these cord cutters were begging
Amazon
to get
Prime.
away from the cord.
If you
but
shop it all on Amazon, every female's got Amazon Prime, right?
Right? Yeah.
I didn't have to subscribe to that. My wife got it with her Amazon membership.
there you go.
Or
You're
whatever
all
it is.
covered. You're covered, buddy.
Which
For
means you're
Thursday
covered.
night.
Which means you're covered.
That's right. Between you, Connor, Tara,
Yeah.
Dutchie,
I
I'm
always
covered on
know-
every service.
I always know when Paulie's watching. I always know. Too many streaming devices at the
I
same
know,
time.
and then I have to let him get on mine.
Yeah.
And then one time I was off yours, then went on hers, and then hers got blocked. It
And
said
then
there's
I
too many
was mad.
streamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I infuriate both of you.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Just don't kick Andy off of like MLB because then she's really going to be mad.
Okay.
As long as you don't kick her off of MLB or the Lightning, we're okay. But
Okay.
mostly.
Festive, fun show today. Appreciate Coach Fate coming in. A lot of fun talking about that Snow Canyon and Dixie game last night. Can't wait for the rematch. You know what I might do tonight? The hockey games that I care about don't start till 8.
Yeah.
I mean, 6:05, go watch an hour of Utah Tech and Sac State. Maybe an hour and a half, slip down to Dixie High School, watch a little bit of the middle innings of a 7 o'clock start there and that rematch of that 13-11 win for the Flyers. Snow Canyon will be humming for a split this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kelch won't be available till we believe the 3rd or 4th inning. Yeah, fireworks.
Yeah.
Pineview's hosting Desert Hills tonight, and Hurricane is hosting Cedar. Those are your other baseball games around Southern Utah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yep.
Good
Gonna be a
night.
good night of sports,
That's
yeah.
right. Plenty on the docket tonight.
Yep. And look, I think there's Dixie at Cedar, Desert Hills at Crimson, Hurricane at Snow Canyon. Those are softball matchups tonight.
Okay,
So you've
yeah.
got some softball going on this evening. A lot of those are 3. Well, the one in Cedar is a 3 o'clock start. I think the other two are 7 o'clock starts at Crimson and at Snow Canyon tonight. Any other local sports going down?
Not that I can
Not
think
that
of.
I-
I think
Lacrosse played
was all
last
last night. Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously you got boys. Dude, is spring sport? There is so many sports.
There's men's volleyball tonight for high
I
school.
like that.
Yes.
Between track and field and softball and baseball and lacrosse and boys soccer
Busy season.
and there's always something going on. I was just checking the boys soccer schedule tonight. You got Crimson at Pineview tonight.
Yeah.
You got Hurricane at Snow Canyon, and Desert Hills is at Dixie. So
Yeah.
if you're going down to Dixie for baseball, you probably stand right behind the press box and watch back and forth, a little soccer and baseball, 2-for-1 action.
Yeah,
Right,
2 for
yeah.
1. We had that at Herc and the
We
other
did.
night.
We had
yeah.
softball, baseball, and soccer.
Yes.
Well, it's going at Snow Canyon tonight.
The trio.
Snow
Yeah,
Canyon
there's
is
the
playing
trio.
Hurricane in soccer,
The
and the
Holy
softball
Trinity.
team is playing.
That's
so,
right.
So you're gonna. I mean, you go to a high school sports complex. You're
Yeah,
probably gonna
busy.
see 2 games
a lot
tonight.
of cars
Yeah.
out there at
Yeah.
these fields lately.
Get there
so.
early.
Yeah.
Hey, the good news is it's not like Allegiant. You don't have to pay for parking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Freebie.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And you don't have to pay the event parking price either, which is more.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Why don't they just let you park at the, what is it to park at Mandalay Bay? Like $18.
Oh,
on game day, it's like 55,
It's 50
60.
or so. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you stay at the hotel,
I know, but not
It's a little
everyone's
cheaper.
staying at the hotel that's going to the game.
you should because you just walk across the bridge.
Yeah.
Hey, that's going to put a bow on the show for today. Man, we've had a lot of fun bringing you today's episode. Hope you watched or hope you listened. If you missed it, you can go to our YouTube page and watch it again while you're at work if you're just heading off for the day. Show today brought to you by ZAG, Coral Canyon Golf Course, Game Day Men's Health, our friends at Prime IV, Soto Diet and Nutrition, One Health St. George, if you're looking for a family doctor, One Health St. George, and of course, our friends at Game Day Men's Health, as well as all of our March Madness sponsors. Thank you to all of those people. For Polly, for Tara. We'll do it again tomorrow. Yeah. Same time, same place, on The Drive on the Fan Sports Network. Have a good Thursday, everybody.